One of the most important decisions for you about your business is what legal structure works best for you. This section will introduce you to many different terms having to do with the organization of your business, but we do encourage you to consult an attorney regarding what will be the best match for you in your situation. The attorney will explain the risks and options that are important for you. The most basic form of business is called a sole proprietorship. This means that in terms of the finances and risks for the business is you, and you are the business. Your income and costs are filed as part of your federal tax return, your personal tax return, with a schedule called a Schedule C that accompanies it. It's important to keep your business records separate from your personal financial records. If you want to use a business name that is not your name, you need to file a DBA form. These are found with each individual county. You go to your county clerk's office for that. The DBA form is meant as doing business as. And so if you're using a name that is not your name, you're doing business under an assumed name, and that is also a name for that form, doing business under an assumed name. These forms are secured from your county clerk's office, and it is regularly modest in price in terms of the fees that are associated with it. To better separate your business finances from your personal finances, you may want to form a corporation or an LLC, a limited liability company. Each of these involves filing costs and legal costs in terms of establishing them. The cost of an LLC does require some legal fees and some filing costs, but in addition, there are some costs associated with posting a notice about the formation of the LLC in the newspapers. This is a requirement for perfection of that LLC. The benefit of a corporation or an LLC is that if something goes wrong in the course of business and you have a liability concern, your personal assets are protected somewhat from your business assets. You should consult an attorney regarding the fine points of this particular level of protection. What's the difference between an LLC and a corporation? Well, to begin with, a corporation is well established in law. That is to say, they've been around since before the country was formed. A corporation is really based around English common law. So when people think about how a corporation is going to perform when it goes into a legal situation, it's pretty well known and established what will happen. An LLC is different. They've only been created perhaps 10 years ago. So what actually will happen in complex legal situations is not perfectly clear. So you do have options in terms of forming it. You should consult an attorney in terms of what is best for your personal situation. A more practical consideration of the difference between an LLC and a corporation concerns how taxes are levied against your profits. If you are drawing profits from a corporation, you'll be taxed on those profits. If you are also an employee of that corporation, you'll also be taxed on that income that you have as well. So you wind up being taxed twice, in a manner of speaking. Whereas with an LLC, you're going to be taxed only at the personal tax rate, and you're only going to be taxed once. That's one practical aspect of the difference between the two. Corporations come in many different types. There are C corporations, S corporations, B corporations. In order to figure out what's best suited for your situation, make sure you contact an attorney and discuss that with them. One decision that people face sometimes is when they're concerned about some social issue, such as education or homelessness. In those cases, you might be more interested in starting a not-for-profit organization that addresses those concerns rather than some sort of a for-profit organization. The Community Loan Fund has a free handout explaining the difference between the two and how you might apply that in the situation that you are concerned with. But here are some points to consider. A nonprofit organization is not your business. It is a business that you organize in the public interest. And it is supervised by a board of directors who doesn't, strictly speaking, own it, but certainly has responsibility for governance and guidance and responsibility for the assets of the organization. Being a nonprofit organization may be appealing because in certain aspects you don't have to pay taxes on certain things that you may purchase for the business. However, a nonprofit organization is fairly highly regulated in terms of many of the aspects that they're responsible for, in terms of tax reporting, reporting to the state regarding details of the nonprofit's activity, and also in terms of annual financial audits and other sorts of reporting that are important for nonprofit organizations and other charities. You'll need to find a group of people that share your passion in terms of forming that nonprofit organization. They're going to be initial incorporators of that nonprofit, and then they also may serve as a board of directors. But you will also need a board of directors as the nonprofit goes forward. The Community Loan Fund has a free handout that can supply you with additional information about forming a nonprofit organization and some of the responsibilities of a nonprofit organization. You might also want to come in and have a one-on-one consultation with one of the staff of the Community Loan Fund about how you're going to move forward in terms of forming that nonprofit. Whichever route you choose, make sure you involve an attorney in helping you sort out the decisions that are important for forming your organization or your business. Feel free to contact the Community Loan Fund if you'd like to have a one-on-one consultation to talk about what you're looking to form or develop as a business. Good luck.